Morning, everyone. It's Dr. Myers here, and welcome to number 5 of our nutritional lecture series. Today, we're going to talk about anaerobic metabolism supplementation, primarily the phosphocreatine and beta-alanine. With this, we're going to do a quick review of the anaerobic energy pathways and what phosphocreatine and beta-alanine supplementation guidelines and how to use them to supplement the anaerobic energy pathways. So quick review, this is going back to our physiological model and talking about the spectrum of the metabolic pathways. And so we've introduced this idea of VO2 max, which is your maximal oxygen utilization of the human body, and lactate threshold. And this is that imaginary line between aerobic and anaerobic processes. And ideally, everything below the lactate threshold, the intensity of exercise is your energy pathways are primarily produced through the aerobic pathway. And everything above threshold, your energy production is primarily through anaerobic pathways. Now, when we talk about anaerobic pathways, there are two of them. The first is the glycolytic, which utilizes carbohydrate as the fuel source. And then you have the phosphagen pathway, which does not utilize carbohydrate. So diving a little bit further, remember, anaerobic pathways do not utilize oxygen to produce ATP. When it's aerobic, that's when you utilize oxygen. The phosphagen pathway is a single-step reversible reaction. And basically what we're saying is through the phosphagen pathway, you're using you add a phosphate group to adenosine diphosphate to create the energy source of adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. And again, ATP is that fuel source that we use for all of our biological processes to get things done. And then next is glycolysis, or the glycolytic pathway. And glycolysis uses carbohydrates to produce ATP. Through the 17-step process, carbohydrate is converted into 4 ATP. But at the end of the reaction, you only gain 2 ATP because you have to invest 2 ATP through the glycolytic pathway to produce your end state. And then through the anaerobic glycolytic pathway, some of the byproducts you create are lactate and hydrogen ions. And the reason we mention this is this step of the glycolytic pathway is important to understanding why we should take beta-alanine. So let's get into it. Anaerobic metabolism supplementation. Let's talk about creatine supplementation. When we talk about creatine supplementation, we are talking about supplementing the phosphagen pathway. And again, that phosphagen pathway is,